Hey everybody, it's Gus here. In this video today, I'll be showing you how to crush your goals. Now, there are two ways that you can do to just absolutely annihilate your goals. And there's going to be the daily habits way, and there's going to be the do or die commitments. Now, and I'll explain to you in a moment what those are, and how both are essential to just making massive amounts of progress in such a short period of time, and actually sustaining all that progress and growing every single day. So definitely be talking about this here. Let me start by talking about the daily habits. Now that's very self-explanatory. So daily habits are things that you are going to do every day that are going to move you closer to your goal. So for example, if you are trying to sell product, then a daily habit would be, let's say X amount of messages that you're going to send through Facebook, X amount of messages that you're going to send through Instagram, or number of phone calls you're going to make that day. So you want to be sure that whenever you're trying to achieve something, whether it be in business or in your personal life, that you set actions to do so every day. So what this does is, especially if you do this consistently, then you are just going to make steady progress. You might not see anything drastic at first, but over a certain period of time, then you're really going to start seeing the rewards. So for example, let's say I'm selling a product and I message 10 people per day, let's say on Facebook. So 10 people per day, and let's multiply that by 7 days, which is a week. That's already 70 people that I've messaged per week. Now, let's say I do this for 1 month. I'm going to multiply 70 times 4. It's going to be 280 people that I've messaged for that month. Now, let's say I multiply this for a year, which is going to be 12 months. So I multiply 280 times 12. It's going to be 3,360 people that I've messaged over the course of the year. Now, if I message that many people, you can only imagine the amount of sales I will be making that year, whether it be a lower ticket product or a higher ticket product. I'm still going to make sales, and I'm still going to do so consistently because I am persistent and I am committed in what I'm doing. Now, the mistake that most people make here is they don't even do the daily habits. They just kind of get into something and they just start taking, some action. Maybe it can be action a little bit more. Let's say they message like maybe 30 people per day, and then or 40 people or 50 people per day, and then they just like after a week they just quit. Now, yeah, that's great for the time being, but you want to make sure that you have the daily habits down, so you can consistently be building the habits. You can consistently be rewiring that discipline in your brain, and you actually be getting long-term results. So with the daily habits, it's all about the long term. So you're fixing to set yourself up for the long term instead of the short term. So when it comes to the daily habits, it can be just a few things, a few actions that you can do every day to kind of put yourself in that path, to where over a certain period of time, it's going to accumulate. And before you know it, you just build this massive empire, this massive YouTube channel, this massive blog, this massive course, whatever it might be, that you've been building consistently over the years. And also the daily habits are going to help a lot to maintain the do or die commitments that we'll be talking about here in a couple minutes. So I just cannot stress the daily habits, guys. So I personally have a list of, I believe, over like 10 things that resonate with all aspects of my life. And I just do these small habits every day. And, over the course of a month, 2 months, a year, a few years, it's all going to be compounded, and it's going to attract, and I'm going to see the massive results just from those little actions that you'll be taking every day. So everything counts. You can even do, let's say, meditate 5 minutes a day, meditate 10 minutes a day, and then just keep increasing it over time. Or whether it be, role playing. If you're in sales, you can literally role play every day for 5-10 minutes. If you do this over a period of time, over a month, over 6 months, over a year, you are going to get super freaking good at it. So whatever is important right now, whether it be your business, whether it be a specific goal that you want to crush in any aspect of your life, just make sure that you're setting the habits. And no habit is going to be 100% consistent. So just strive for getting 90% consistency or higher, and you shall be good. So this is also a great way to build a lot of discipline. Now, especially if you don't do this now, or you're not very disciplined in what you do, this will kind of help a lot. You are going to struggle at first at this. But if you make the commitment and you strive to do the daily habits every day, within a certain period of time, you're going to see massive, massive results from these little actions that you're taking every day. So right now, if you have like a notepad, or maybe you have notes, just go ahead and then write down, 5 to 10 things that you can start doing every day, just little actions that you can start doing every day to actually get you started and just kind of move you forward every single day towards your goal in whatever area in life that it is you want to achieve, specifically in business, because that's what is going to make you money right now. And like I said, think in the long term. So just think this as a long-term plan. Don't think about getting the rewards right away, because you're going to quit because you are not going to see results right away. Just think about it, just you going to the gym, every day, or every other day consistently. You're not going to see results overnight. It might take, months and months for you to actually start seeing the progress. But if you do it consistent enough, eventually all that progress is going to compound, and you're going to have an amazing body. You have, for example, if it's a business, you're going to have an amazing business. If it's a YouTube channel, you're going to have an amazing YouTube channel with tons of content that's going to completely grow. So just make sure that you are clear on your daily habits. Now, when you're writing down, 5 to 10 things, don't start all of them right away, just because you are not going to be able to build that self-discipline overnight. So what you want to do to start being consistent, you want to maybe pick 1 or 2 of those habits and then start doing it, maybe for a few weeks or a couple of weeks, and then start adding maybe 1 habit every other week to there. That way, you staying consistent with everything, and you don't actually quit on what you're doing. So that definitely, that's what I would recommend to do right now, especially if you're not doing any, if you're not setting yourself up for productive habits. You want to make sure that you do this right away, because this is going to be a very important aspect to your success. Now, The second topic that I want to talk about here is that kind of correlates with this first one is going to be the do or die commitments. Now, just like I mentioned in the beginning, how to crush your goals. There's two ways, the daily habits and there's the do or die commitments. So the do or die commitments are when you literally have no choice but to succeed, or you will literally experience pain. So an example of this can be maybe quitting your job, without having any money. And just the only way for you to survive would be for you to get clients, or maybe make your online business happen, whatever industry or niche you might be in. That would be a do or die commitment. And I'll give you an example of a do or die commitment that I did. So, I was living in a city, and ever since I was small, I've always had a dream to move to this other city here in Texas. So, coming from a very small town, I always dreamed of going to the big city, going out there, just making my dreams come true, and just kind of do this business thing and see where it takes me. So at the time I was working at a sales job, and I've also had an online business. I believe my online business was like making like $1,500 a month at the time. And that was just like strictly passive income. So I didn't really have to put that much effort into that. So I just got sick of being in that town, and I decided that if I were to stay here, because I had like my expenses were extremely low. I literally had from the sales job in my business, I had thousands of dollars left over every month, just to save or to pretty much do whatever I want with it. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to get too freaking comfortable, and I'm just going to get lazy, and I'm never going to do this thing that I've wanted to do my whole life and lived in this beautiful, awesome city that I want to live in. So what I decided to do, to save as much money as possible, which I believe was like $4,000, and because I was saving extremely quick. So I believe I saved like $4,000 in 1 month, and I was supposed to move to this new city with a sales job, and obviously my business was still running automatically. So what ended up happening was there was like a small incident that happened, and long story short, the company didn't want to transfer me to the store in this other city. So what ended up happening is I ended up leaving that job. In my mind, I was moving to my dream city regardless of what happened. Whether they said no, whether this happened, I was going to move out there anyways. Now, keep in mind, I moved into this new city, just $4,000, and I was making $1,500 passive income at the time. And I believe my expenses were anywhere from $2,500 to like $3,000, because I literally moved into one of the nicest areas here in this new city, and I got what most people will call an expensive apartment to live there. So what ended up happening is I moved into this new city, with my business not making enough money, and with no other job income that I could depend on, just kind of moved over here, and I had to perform, or I was going to fail, absolutely lose the brand new apartment that I just got, lose any other possessions that I might have had to sell or anything like that. So by me making this do or die commitment, it forced me to level up. It forced me to, cover my expenses, to make enough money to cover my expenses every month, to skill up, to start taking massive action. And trust me, once you make a commitment like this, and I'm not suggesting that you should quit your job. I'm not suggesting that you should do anything like that. I don't know your situation, but I'm just saying this is an example for do or die commitment. Another example can be, let's say you lose a certain amount of money if you don't perform. And if you really think about it, most people perform when their backs are just straight up against the wall, when they have no other option. This was the do or die commitment that I did. It forces you to become creative, to take massive amounts of action, because if you don't, then bad things are gonna happen. I would have lost the apartment. I don't know. I would have lost so many other things, and I would have just gone back home empty-handed. And all that hard work that I've put prior to that, planning to move and making my dreams happen and doing all this thing, I couldn't have done all that if I had failed. So I was absolutely forced to level up. I was absolutely forced to come up with that money every month. And I did. And it's a beautiful feeling, because I've literally made months and months of progress in a short period of time, within a few weeks time. So there's people that have done this at a larger scale. There's people that have literally done do or die commitments and have literally gone to make a lot of money within a few weeks just by doing this commitment. So I'm not suggesting that you should do or die commitments as a primary. I was suggesting that you do the daily habits, and that you do the daily habits every day, and then occasionally start doing the do or die commitments and put yourself at risk. Because when you put yourself at risk and you make the commitment to make something happen, and your back's against the wall, you are going to make that happen. You are going to be forced to level up and get creative and deal with certain situations that you've never experienced before. So I want you to get out of your comfort zone and experience these uncomfortable situations that are going to force you to become a better person. Now, after me doing that do or die commitment, I literally felt like 10 years wiser. The experience that I gained was priceless. So, I learned so many new skills in a short period of time. I made this progress in a short period of time, and I would have never done this if I hadn't have taken that risk. So if there's something out there that you truly want, but you're scared, what do you really have to lose if you do it? If you do it, you risk it, you give it your all. It's better. And if you fail, it's better than not trying at all. So just, if there's something that you really want to go out there and do the daily habits first, because that's what's going to keep you, even after you do the do or die commitments. This is what's going to sustain everything. So make sure you have the daily habits down first, and then start taking risks and start leveling up and start, doing things faster, and start putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations that are going to force you to become successful, and whatever goal it might be. So, just go ahead and try this. And another very important disclaimer that I want you to do if you do this is, if you do this, be prepared to face the consequences regardless of the outcome. So for example, let's say that you're taking a big risk and you're doing a do or die commitment. You need to be okay with failing, and not in a sense where you're thinking you're gonna fail, but in a sense that even if you give it your all, there are gonna be times when not even that is enough, and you're gonna have some setbacks, and you might fail, and that's okay. If you go for it with everything and you make it happen, then you make it happen. If you don't, then you fail, but you learn. You've had new experiences. You experience what it was to give it your best and come up short, and that's okay. The most successful people out there, they're the ones who fail the most, because they're the ones who take the most action. And instead of crying about it or giving up, they get back up and they try it again. They try differently. They find other ways to do it. So if you do these two things here that I'm telling you right now, you are going to absolutely crush your goals. And especially the daily habits, if you do the daily habits part, or even the do or die, these are equally as good. Your life is just going to be 10 times better than it is right now. So you can apply this to all areas of your life, specifically to business. This would definitely force you to start making a lot of money in the whatever amount of time that it would take you. So definitely go ahead and try these two things here. These are the two ways to crush your goals and to make sure it happen. So yeah, this is all pretty much what I got for this video. I hope you got a lot of value from this, and just go out there and crush it.